Good evening. A mayoral meeting doesn't usually raise concerns about national security, but that's exactly what's happened in Newcastle. A sit-down between the Lord Mayor and a Chinese diplomat making waves, with Councillor Kerridge admitting he was quizzed about whether the city will house AUKUS submarines. The Lord Mayor now questioning how details of the meeting ended up with a newspaper.
A meet and greet inside Newcastle Council headquarters, now making national headlines. A Chinese delegation, including Wang, the new Sydney Consul General, welcomed by the Lord Mayor and staff. But after talking pleasantries about trade and sister city relationships, Kerridge says he was surprised by some of the questions asked.
Yeah, that was a little unexpected in that it was said to be just a meet and greet.
The Chinese diplomat said to have raised AUKUS submarines.
And then he inquired about nuclear submarines and said, is Newcastle going to be one of the nuclear submarine bases? I said our council's position is that it's a non-nuclear city, but realistically it's a state and federal government decision.
The Lord Mayor adding the conversation also shifted to Newcastle's Tibetan and Taiwanese communities.
Yes, that the Chinese government thinks that these groups shouldn't have any support from governments at any level.
But Kerridge believes the whole episode is a storm in a teacup and says the briefing notes of the meeting somehow ended up on a front page of a major newspaper.
Not usual for such a document to go out into the public and someone's leaked it. It may be an attempt to make me look silly. That's all part of the game. It's a bit unfortunate, but some people like delving in the swamp of politics.
Meanwhile, in Canberra, the Minister for Defence Industries' response to the AUKUS grilling was awkward.
I think we should be very careful about reflecting on individual reports that are out there.
It all comes as questions are raised about companies with suspected links to the Chinese government buying up land close to strategically significant ports, including this 70,000 square metre parcel at Mayfield. China Merchants Group also holds a 50% share in the Port of Newcastle, the largest port on the east coast.
I was stunned to see these reports, and in that context that we had a senior official from the Chinese government reach out to a Lord Mayor of one of our cities, where the discussion then turned to defence, AUKUS and matters of national security. That is entirely disturbing.
Newcastle has been mentioned by the federal government as a potential site for an AUKUS submarine base. Jane Goldsmith.